we get out of it. We're there.
Hey, well, that's looking good. That's looking good.
Yeah. Are we muted?
Yeah, no, he's muted. Are we muted?
You're muted. You're not muted. Neither am I. Now you're muted. Good afternoon, Mr. Ken. You're on mute.
Okay, there I go. How are you doing?
Good.
Good, good.
So I got your email. So you have more students than you thought, huh?
More students than I thought. Well, with you guys being able, with that grant being able to fund that, now I've got each student has a book that they can even take home. They have their own books, which created this. But I've got like 3 books only left, and so I need like 5 more. So yeah, I've got a good problem. I got one class with 20 students in it, which is quite a few, but we're going to work through it. And so yeah, I need about 5 more books, and that should take care of us.
Good.
Yeah,
That's a good problem to have.
it's a really good problem to have, and I'm going to try my best this year to get some of them certified, and I think I've got some that I will be able to do that for sure, and then at least get the others on a good start.
That's good.
Yep.
So how many students are you looking at this so far?
Oh, I've got let me see. Got about 35, maybe 36 high school students. I teach 6 through 12 as well. So, and my middle school students, I will have about 70 middle school students altogether.
You are up quite a bit.
Yep,
Great.
up quite a bit. Yep. Still having fun. I still enjoy it. I'm starting my 45th year. So that's a long time.
45 years. Wow.
Yeah.
And you still enjoy it. What's the
I do
secret?
enjoy it. Well, for me, the secret was I was an administrator for 24 years, actually 25 years, and getting back into teaching again. As an administrator, I was able to see so many teachers do such a great job, and I'm a better teacher now than what I ever was because I was able to observe so many people and help them learn to be better. By doing that, I think it helped me learn to be better, and then getting to teach again. And I feel pretty privileged with that, and my health is still good, and I don't know. It's just something about doing something for people that you see that little light bulb, whatever, come on is just fun. And I don't know how many more I'm going to do. My wife says this is it, but I say I'm not going to say that yet. I don't know. I may still be here next year and the year after. I don't know. But
Well, you're not supposed to tell anyone that you were administrator. That's a 4-letter word for a lot of instructors, right?
well, and I'm sure it is until they get to know me. One thing about being in the career and tech ed part, being career and tech ed administrator, I think we've all kind of been in that same boat, and we're just real. That's the thing. That's what I love about CTE people. We're real. We say like it is, and not to offend anybody, but we say what we need to say and try to make things better. And I always like to, as an administrator, it's always fun because, golly gee, if anything broke, we could fix it. Bring it to our school, we'll fix it. There's something about that that's just, for me, I always tell people, you cut my blood and you'll see little CTE things come squirting out with my blood. So, yeah, that's just who I am. I've always been around that all my whole life. And even as a kid, when my cousins, which were pretty good ball players, pretty good athletes, I would be helping somebody build something or working on a car with somebody or something like that. And that was my interest.
Well, we're starting to see quite a few people step on, so that's awesome.
Yeah, good.
Okay, we're getting close. And it's 4 o'clock. The educators, are we always on time? What do you think? Think we're gonna have some people joining us after?
I have a first hour this year. I usually have first hour plan. I would always be a little late to work, but now this year I'm on time.
That's great. So I believe I know most of you in one form or fashion. I think a lot of you have come to my class or we've exchanged emails or phone calls.
I'm going to be driving home, so for part of this, I will probably just listen and turn off my camera and everything.
That's fine. If you can, and if you do right now, turn on your camera. That way we can have a good discussion. And if you do not have that capability, that's fine as well. That
Can
way
you
we
see
can.
me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So my name is Clovis Bayless, and I work for AGC of Kansas, and I am the NCCER Workforce Director. This phone call and meeting, this virtual meeting, will be the first of hopefully I will try every month to have one of these calls. My purpose of these calls is to help you with any types of tools, information, changes, anything of that sort. And I wanted to get this one out as quickly as possible because how many of you are fully aware that NCCR has changed their entire system? Is anyone that does not know that yet? Okay. So I wanted to try to help with some of the nuances, big things at first. And also, for those of you that have been with AGC for some time, we have also enlarged our staff. So now it's not just me. We have 4 individuals, including myself, that can help you. So does everyone see the PowerPoint that says AGC of Kansas Instructor Support Meeting? Yeah. We have several individuals that did respond and say that they could not be on and they would ask that it be recorded. So I am recording this. And if anyone would like a copy of it, I can give that, as well as one of the big things I want to make sure everybody has, and that is the contact information. My contact information is here, as well as the rest of the staff at Build Up Kansas. We have Humber. He is the director of Build Up Kansas. We have PJ Riley. Many of you may know him. He is the CT coordinator for Build Up Kansas. And then we have Brad Starnes, and I believe several of you may have talked with him as well. And he is the education coordinator. Any one of us can help you. If you have not gotten on board with us, becoming a registered school, or have not been certified, you can contact any of us to help you with the onboarding of becoming one of our training programs. If you have technical assistance or anything of that sort about NCCR credentialing, I'm here to help you so that you can go ahead and take care of your students. What we want to do is put as many resources in front of you as we can so that you can be in the classroom and taking care of your students. That's what our goal is. So if you want to take a picture, or I can send an email as well, and that way you can have our contact information. I am going to put in the chat a link that if you would, please, it's a form that you can fill out, and it's basically asking for your contact information. That way I can make sure and send you a copy of the PowerPoint, which has the contact information, or if you would like a recording of this. So that form is there. If you can fill it out, that way I can make sure to include you on all of the notices of any of the upcoming meetings that we have out, as well as make sure you get copies of anything that you need. So if you would, it's just a link and it's just asking for your name, what organization, and your email. So if you would, fill that out. And I will post it again a couple more times because as people join us, they may not have that. They may not see that. All right. So there are some of you are in different stages of coming on board with us. And I wanted to make sure that everyone is aware of the process to get on board and become a registered training program with AGC of Kansas so that you can credential your students. The first one is complete an MOU. NCCR last year had made a new requirement that all organizations that are credentialing all training programs to complete an MOU with their sponsor. And the sponsor is AGC of Kansas. So there's an MOU. It's fairly simple. It just basically says the expectations that you can expect from us, as well as the expectations that we have of you. And we have samples of that. And basically all you need to do is fill in the blank and sign. We'll need to have one of those. If you haven't completed it, contact me or one of the other individuals, Berto, Brad, or PJ. We'll make sure and get that to you. The next one is, in order to issue credentials, the instructor must be certified with NCCR. And that's a class that I believe most of you have already gone through. We call it it's called the Instructor Certification Training Program. We call it the ICTP. So you have not done that, you will not be able to credential your students. The next item is you must be registered with NCCR to be our training program under AGC. NCCR has changed that process recently. So there is a link that I have, and we can get that to you. If you are not part of our training program, you will not be able to issue credentials to your students. And it's basically fill in the blank. Address, who you are, name of the school, things of that nature. NCCR also requires to have your accounts payable information. So we got to fill that out, as well as a W-9 or tax exempt form. We got to send that to us, to me, so that I can turn that in with your application. And then the last two are the things that everyone is excited about. If you would like textbooks for high school students, AGC will purchase those textbooks for you. We'll have those drop shipped directly to you. There's a website, a link that you go to, you fill out a form of basically who you are, the address, what textbooks you would like, and we will drop ship those to you. And then all testing fees. We will take care of all testing fees. We're currently working with NCCR right now, getting an agreement signed with them. Before we would have to pay as use them, but currently we're working with an agreement with NCCR so that we will have that already set up in place so that everything will be taken care of. So currently we're not buying subscriptions. You may see some fees being incurred as you do testing, but we're going to go ahead and go back and pay those. So then once we get that agreement in place, then you will see unlimited subscriptions. You won't have any problems, but we will pay for all of those testing fees that occur. Couple of things to keep in mind. We are not able to purchase textbooks until you have an MOU and in the process of registering with NCCR with us. Also, we cannot we cannot pay for any testing fees until you are registered with NCCR to be one of our training programs. So those are the couple of caveats. Okay. Any general questions about that? If you have some specific questions about where you are in that, or if you need to take the next steps, you can contact me directly, or PJ, Humberto, or Brad. Other than that, any general questions about that process?
Cloyce, do we have sort of a timeline on when you think that would be up and ready to go for us, or not yet?
For
This,
your school specifically, or
yeah, for the subscriptions to where you said we could just go on there and just and wouldn't have to worry about the fees.
If you have registered with AGC with NCCR,
Yes.
then it's ready to go right now.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, you may see some fees. No, you may see some fees, but we'll pay those.
Okay.
Once the agreement goes into effect, you won't see any fees. It will automatically kind of wash out. So,
Okay.
but everybody who's registered with us is ready to go for testing.
Great.
I checked with the NCCR controller last week, and they said all of our schools are ready to go. So if you're registered with us, we'll pay for those fees, and you may see a fee show up, but we'll take care of it.
Okay.
Close, is that registration you're talking about for an individual or the school registered?
It's the school. Okay. So in the process, the instructor must be certified, and that's attending the ICTP, and then providing us with your resume or your document that shows your experience, maybe. And then the school must be registered as well. So there's an application process, and there is a link that it just has some general questions about address, mailing, things of that nature. Once you do that, I turn in an application to NCCR to register that organization, your school, with NCCR to be a training program for AGC. So both of those have to occur. For testing fees, for testing fees, the school must be registered with NCCR to be a training program with us.
Okay. So yeah, I've sent you my credentials and the school's registered. We did that last year. We ordered some books, but I ended up having roughly, I'm going to have probably 3 sections of 90 kids, and I've got 30 some books, so I could order more books at no cost then?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. Any other general questions that I can answer? If you want to get specific on where you are in the process, then that might be a question that we can go offline. That way we don't eat up some time. Okay. Now, if you've gone through all of these things, that you have an instructor that is certified, that the school is registered with the NCCR to be our training program under AGC of Kansas, you're ordering your textbooks, you got your subscriptions, that your testing fees are being covered. The next step, the ongoing process, is each year NCCR requires AGC, the sponsor, to go out and audit your location. Basically what that means is that I'll show up, or Brad or PJ or Humberto will come out and visit you, make sure everything's going well, there's no problems, issues, you're following all of the guidelines, that standards that NCCR expects of you. And at the same time, we'll also evaluate you in the classroom, making sure that you have that student engagement, classroom management, and basically following those standards. You're not reading answers to students. You're not, those type of things. Because NCCR, part of their accreditation is that we want that credential that you issue to the students above reproach. When that student steps into the business or company or contractor that they're trying to get a job with, that contractor or business sees that credential and they know, yep, that student has that knowledge and those skills. So part of the accreditation is just evaluating at it. Evaluation of the instructor by us, and also your student needs to evaluate you as well. And we can talk about that more in another meeting, but that is one of those ongoing things every year. We need to do all three of these things. There is some forms that we fill out, and there is a form, as well as I created a Microsoft Forms that you can do painlessly, that you can show a QR code and the student can scan it, fill out 6 or 7 questions and be done. So all of this, we've made it fairly painless for you. Basically, we just come out and visit you and see how you're doing. That's basically what it comes down to. Any questions as far as that aspect of it? Okay.
Clovis, just a
Absolutely.
question on those audits, those program audits. Is
Mhm.
that scheduled, or is that just like spot audits?
No, we're not going to drop by Alex and say, "Hey, how's it going?" We'll coordinate all of that with you. Yeah.
Gotcha. I was just worried, in case the students, then maybe they're testing or something like that, or maybe you show up on a day that the school doesn't have session or something like that. That's what I was asking about.
Oh, no. That's quite all right. I understand.
Yeah.
I have a lot of you have seen me come out and visit, and I've shown up and there's been assemblies going on, or yeah, we know we coordinate all of those. All of our visits will be coordinated. That way we'll make sure that we hit not your planning period or something else. You're teaching something that is not what we have been NCCR. So we want to make sure that those are planned as well. Absolutely. Thanks for asking, Alex. Any other general questions?
I don't want to muddy the water here, Clovis, but can we start getting rid of our paper performance profiles each year?
So, as everyone is aware, you have to do module testing, which is the knowledge portion of it. You also have to do the skills evaluation, which is the performance profile. Previously, if you have conducted any of those, and it is paper, because as of August this year, we're moving to paperless. That's one of the things I was going to show you. So if it's been in the last 3 years, you have actually conducted a paper performance profile, you must keep that. NCCR audits us, AGC, every 3 years. And in that portion of that audit, we must provide those performance profiles to NCCR to show that, yes, you did evaluate them. So yes, in the last 3 years, if you have conducted a paper performance profile, you still need to retain that. Now, good or bad, next year, 2024, AGC will be audited. That's our next scheduled audit is next year. Once we clear that, we'll be able to get rid of everything. So starting this month, this school year, we're going paperless. So as we go paperless, Once we hit our audit, we'll get rid of everything prior to that audit. So
Amazing. Thank you.
hopefully that didn't muddy the water any.
I knew it was probably not the best question to ask for this meeting, but thank you.
Oh no, no. And guys, that is the whole thing. I am here to help you. We're here to help support you as much as we can. We'll help you as much as you can or as little as you need. So if you need a lot of hand holding, that's what we're here for. I'll make sure that I put lotion and not have too much calluses, but we'll hold your hand all the way through that. If you are self-sufficient and you just need some technical advice here or there, or if you run into a problem, we'll provide that as needed. So, okay. Who here has not looked at NCCER's new website? They have a brand new website that they have rolled out. So a little history, very short. I'll not try to get into the weeds. NCCER has not updated their system as a whole in the last 20 years. As they grew, they put on a new system. They grew some more, they put on a new system. And so they had three to four systems all running concurrently that didn't talk very well. So what they did this summer is they are moving all of that information to a new system. They are moving 30 years of credentialing history over to a new system. So it's taken them a little bit of a time. And this new system is everything's housed within it. And they have tried to make it user friendly. So that is why they changed. They have a couple of great features in there, and we'll discuss that a little bit. So I will go ahead and show you the new website. And it's very simple, nccer.org. And that new website has all types of wonderful bits of information. So, and if you go through here, there's lots of things that you can find. They try to keep everything simple. So example, verify credentials, it's just right there to the right. Instructor's toolbox, it's right there to the right. If you want to create a new number, it's under credentials and certification, it's right there. Customer service, it's there. They have quick links that hopefully will help you out to find something. For over 30 years, one of the things I hear all the time is, I can't find anything on that website. Well, if you have found a lot of stuff, now they moved it all because it's a whole new website. So once you get to find it, once you get to exploring, you'll see that it's kind of put out in a pretty easy manner to find things, kind of user friendly. To sign in, it's on the top and it says sign in, top right. Okay. Most of you will have an NCCER card number and hopefully you've registered and have a password. If you don't have a password, it's real simple. It says if you haven't created an account, it's up here, create account. If you don't remember, you can say, find my NCCER card number. So it's going to be right there and you put in your last name. And then if you remember, you either use the driver's license, social security number, and that's what you'll put in right here. So if it's a Kansas driver's license, it's down here under Kansas. If your students don't remember, it's right here, their Kansas student ID number. Or if it is your actual social security number, it's right here at the top, US social security number. So they've tried to make it pretty simple right through here. And then if it is a social security number, you use it, last name, and put in your number.
Hey, Clois.
Yeah.
Sorry. So, our school wants us to use the Kansas ID number, but we have students that
Yep.
don't have it yet. But they don't want us to use driver's license or social security number at all for those kids to make an account.
Okay. So here's the great thing about student ID numbers, Kansas student ID numbers. Most of you, if at any time, you'll know it's the kid's number. The kid's number, as soon as they enroll, if they enroll in elementary school in Kansas, they get a student ID number, a kid's number. That kid's number follows them for their entire education career. It doesn't matter. It's the same number in elementary school. It's the same number in middle school. It's the same number in community college. It's the same one all the way through. Schools should have that. So your administrator somewhere, somehow, that should be used. They should be there somewhere. So I'm sorry. go
Our
ahead.
kids have it, and we can find it when we go into the roster. But we
Yep.
have some new kids that haven't been assigned that number yet. And again, they don't want us to use our driver's license or their social security number. So
Okay.
when we get to the testing stage, what do we do with those kids?
Okay. So they've transferred in or out of state because if they're
Yes,
new.
they transferred from out of state at some
Okay.
point.
Okay.
But he also has a foreign exchange student as well.
Okay. Have they give you a timeline on when that is? Because you don't need it until the testing starts.
Correct. No, I don't have a timeline yet.
So as you're covering the material in the first couple of weeks, hopefully it wouldn't take more than a couple of weeks to get that. So you can cover that material, and it's when that first test comes up on the safety or whatever it is that you have it. And if for some reason, because I can't think, if they're telling you you can't use anything else, then I don't know what else that we can do, because a system generated number, they stopped doing that about 5 years ago.
As far as using a driver's license or social security, I mean, the driver's license is the safer of the two, wouldn't it? As far as security goes?
But it just kind of depends on your organization. There are some, anyway, I won't get into it. So yes, the driver's license or the ID would be the safest of those. And some schools will not let you use either one of those. That must be the student ID. So why don't you let me contact me if you run into some problem.
Okay.
Contact me at that time.
So even though that they fill them, they can fill their get on the website and fill out their own account to get their own card number. They still won't let you guys use their driver's license or social security number. That's something that your students would know and have, and they fill it out themselves. You'd never see it. Nobody'd ever have it. You're not creating numbers for them. They could actually get on and do it themselves, and they still won't let you use won't let them do that?
They ask us not to use their driver's license, so we
Well-
haven't.
Well, and I get you can't use it, but they can't get on the website and sign up for their NCCER account themselves, I guess
I'll
is
ask
what
that
I'm asking.
question. I'll ask
Yeah,
that
'cause
question.
Yeah, I mean, we're not
Personal
making
and-
the account for them.
Right.
We were just told to have them use the Kansas state ID number.
I
Right.
see. Well, this is something that follows them for life, so it seems like it would make more sense if they, got to choose which second ID they got to use, because they'll use that. Like I'm a tech school, so I get mostly post-secondary, but they, have to remember that at that point, and it just seems like more sense to me to use a driver's license or social security number unless they can memorize their Kansas student ID
It
number
does,
as well.
no, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good point, Chris, is that was the other change this year, was that the instructor cannot create the NCCR card number for the student. The student must do it. The student must sign up for it themselves. So if I go back to create an account, the student will fill this out. An instructor cannot. And so what Chris was mentioning is the students filled this out, so you would not have access to their driver's license, Social Security. No one would. So that was a good point. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, it seems like it could also be homework, like you have them do it with their parent at home and then bring their card number back the next day. I know that's a challenge. I work in education as well, but maybe an idea anyway for the collective.
Well, there is something that I've had discussion on many of you, and that is make it a grade, make it an assignment that they go in and create their card number and come in with the card number for you. And that way, 5 points, 10 points, whatever it is, because they cannot test until they have that card number. You can't assign them a test until they do. So that I've had that discussion with several of you. That's one of those.
Well, Cloy's on my end. I have 77 high school freshmen, and they don't have driver's license. So
Correct.
we have to use the Kansas ID.
Absolutely. And that's correct. And that's why we did that. So years ago, there was only two things that could be used: a Social Security number or a system generated number that NCCR had to provide. So we went to NCCR and said, okay, we have to change this. And so we came up with the kids number and so that is one of those alternate IDs that they put in. They put in a driver's license, they put in a kid's number, they put in a corrections number. So you can use any of those. Let me rephrase that. You can't use any of them. The student can use any of those. So, and that's a good point. A lot of your freshmen and even some of your middle school, 8th grade, some of you are putting this in the 8th grade. They don't have that, but they will have a kid's number. So
they
and
also
if they
have
want to use,
a disclaimer for the Social Security number. There's a disclaimer on the website that if the parents, you need to send it home with the student, you can, I'm sure Clovis can get it to you, but you can print off and send home with them so they know it's a safe and secure procedure.
well, and that is something that has changed, is there is no registration release form anymore. I know I beat that into your heads when you guys went through your certification class, but as of August, there is no more registration release form. When they sign and fill out this form, very bottom, it has the terms and conditions and the privacy. So what Chris is mentioning is in that terms and conditions, that it is a privacy, that no one's getting that. It is a locked database, and only about half a dozen, if that many, have access to it. NCCR employees cannot see that number. So that is something that is in that disclaimer. So that is the registration release form. When they check that box, it's done. They do not have to fill out anything else. There's no registration release form. There's no other form for them to fill out. Yes, Mr. Alex.
Just like the written performance profiles, we need to keep all of our written registration release forms for the past 3 years until the audit.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, here's something that you can do for your returning students. Have them go in and do the find the card number. Let me see. Let me back up. Yeah. Yeah. So you do, if you've done it previously and you have registration release form before August of this year, it does need to be held on to because it is auditable. We must provide that for an audit. So good. Thank you, Alex. Okay. So once you do, if you have a problem with, you don't remember your password, you can hit reset password and it will send that to the email that you utilized. Here is a potential problem. The students will register for their card number and it will send them an email. If they don't have access to the email and or they have a good spam blocker, guess where that email is going to end up? In their junk and spam folder. So, and if they still have problems, call NCCR. It takes 5-10 minutes. They do a really good job of resetting and helping you out. If you don't have access to that email anymore, give them a call. They'll get that knocked out pretty quickly. Okay. Yes, sir. What can I help you with, Adam?
Yeah, that's kind of what we ran into the other day was
Mhm.
I think they mistyped their emails. And
Oh,
so then
yes.
we didn't have access to it. I tried to call the thing, and like you said, in the past, it's been really quick, but yesterday they had 60-minute wait times on there. I sent them an email. Do they respond to the emails fairly quick?
Yep.
And then the only other issue I had is we still use social security numbers. I have to have them when we enroll at Flint Hills for the OSHA 10. I have to have them for that. But one of the kids, and I haven't got with NCCR because that's going to be a phone conversation. He put in his social security number and it said it was already being used. Is that something you ran into before at all yet? Or?
So sometimes students will get a card number and they don't remember and they used it. And so guess what? They go in and it's already been used. And or in the NCCR has a very large sector in the petrochemical industry, which requires a social security number. And I have seen where there is a lot of people using a social security number that's not theirs. So it does. But yes, and that is a caution. And yes, Adam, thank you so much. Guess what? Every single school in the nation that is doing NCCR are doing right now, signing up students. So yes, you're correct. Your hold times, depending on when you call, can increase and will be higher than normal. Last week, I was with some instructors and we were going through the process and they made a phone call and it was 10 minutes. Now that this is the first week or second week of school, we're going to see a lot larger. The email, also support@nccr.org, is also a great way of doing that as well. Okay, so when you sign in, it is a whole new look, totally new. You now have a dashboard, and it looks like it's sticking. This dashboard is customized to you and what you can do. Okay, there is a nice little updated, enhanced, a little video about it. So I am a program director, and so mine has a little bit more things than what yours will. You will have an instructor toolbox. You'll have a learning platform. You'll have the performance evaluation. You'll have these 3 boxes if you're an instructor. Over on the left, you can look at your credentials, and they have changed it. So if you look at your credential, you'll go to your certification and it will say if you are an instructor or a proctor or a performance evaluator. It will not list what you are teaching. It will not say core, it will not say welding, it will not say any of that. It will say you're an instructor, a proctor, or a performance evaluator. And then if you need to look up credentials, you type it in here and you can search it. One of the great things is down at the bottom left-hand side, it says support portal. This is where you can go to find out all types of things. It has videos, it has how-tos, it has all types of information. And that's just right there at the bottom. When you click on anything, it will open up a new window. At the top, all you have to do is go back to the portal and it will bring you back to the home page. The other big change is reports. You will be able to pull reports on completions of if they completed the module, they completed all of core, and the great one here, and that is print credentials. No longer will you have to contact NCCER to print credentials. You can go here and it's called print on demand. So it's right here. So your students, when they sign in, they can print their own credentials. You can print your students' credentials. So that is one of those great new enhancements that they put in. Now, don't run and do that because guess what? They're still moving 30 years of data over. So it is being updated and you might be able to get some, but I would say within the next month or two, it should be able to. So by the time you get everything done, you should be able to. Questions? That's fairly quick overview. Okay. The big one that everybody will be doing is the learning platform. This is where you will assign tests to your students. This is also, if the student gets it, they will have, if you assign them any test, this is where it will show up. To assign a test, it's up here at the top. You will have home, assign test, proctor console, and return to dashboard. That's what you will have. Home, assign, proctor, and return to dashboard. You click on assign. This is where you will do your module test. You can create your class groups right here. First, you'll choose what program you are. Most of you will only have one, and that will be your school. So if you're Attica or Caney Valley, whatever your school is, it should be listed here. Then you choose the instructor, which should be you, or if you have more than one instructor at your school that is certified with NCCER, it will list them as well. Again, because it's me, I have everybody. So, and then you can manage groups. When you create a group, you will be able to add a new group and then put all your students into it. This is where you need their card number. Put a name in it, and then what's their card number. As you put the card number, you create the group. That way, when you go to assign test, you can assign it to all of your students at once instead of doing one student at a time. So if I go and choose my first hour, here it has a student in it, and I will say next. So this one does have a student in it. I say next. Right here, here's my module test. I'll go and find construction and maintenance, and then here's core. So did you have 5th edition or 6th edition? And that's how you assign a test. Now, you all remember that, right? Of course you don't. And that's why going down here to the support portal is great, because guess what they have down in here? can't see it because my camera's blocking it. But they have videos. Where is videos? Resources. So it has all these, how to do your testing.
Is this where you would find the videos to teach the math module?
No, sir.
You have
No,
to find
sir.
those in Pearson?
That is Pearson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clo-
These are
Clovis,
videos of how to. Yes,
quick question or comment. I think
absolutely.
I have found you find those videos when you're not logged in.
Ah,
You're
okay.
logged in right now, and I couldn't. I'm like, where'd they go? And then when I'm not logged in, it's under. It's real easy to see when you're not logged in.
Yeah, that's why I was looking the other day and I found them, but now.
Yeah, so you're logged in as you right now. So
Yeah. Okay. So we'll have to, I'll find it, but it is found in the support portal. The Here it is. So I knew it was there somewhere. So when you go to support portal, it's right here at the top. The new system enhancements. Click to get started. And it's down on the bottom right. How to. And it walks you through how to do it, how to assign a module test, how to do your log in and take a module test, how to proctor a test. So it has all these videos of how to do it. So, okay. The last thing I wanted to show you was the performance evaluations. This one is a little bit harder to show because you actually have to step through it, actually do it. But when you press on the button, performance evaluations, new performance on this one here, new performance, you start it and you'll choose your student and then it walks it through. And I can't give it to myself and then you assign what you're teaching. So if it's carpentry or core, and then it will show you what it is. Is it safety, tools, whatever it is, and you continue basic safety, which edition, and then you start the evaluation. As you start it, you're going to go through and here's task one, and it's that simple. You just walk through it. You're going to have to start, stop, and then it's done. Start, stop, did they pass? Start, stop, task, did they pass? So you can do up to 5 students at a time this way. Again, there's some videos in there, and if you run into problems, let me know. I'll try to walk you through it. Here's the big thing. If you have problems, call me, email me. Actually, email is probably the better way. I'll try to show you videos. I'll try to do some screenshots. If you still don't, let me know. We'll schedule a call. Maybe it's a team so we can walk it through together. If you still have problems, let me know. I'll come out and visit you. Questions?
Close, my homepage only has learning platform and make purchases. I don't have all that that you're showing.
Okay. I'll have to check that for you, Randy. I'll check it and see what you're listed as. Because the way they've changed it is everything is based on where you're assigned. And I'll have to check where you're assigned and what it looks like.
I know I talked with Humberto there from AGC, and he made a comment about our school here wasn't registered as an accredited training program yet, and he said that might be why we can't access those drop down tabs that we saw you going through, especially in the, I think what tab was that, the
Assign.
learning. Yeah, we couldn't
Yeah,
assign
learning plan.
because we're not registered. So that might be what you guys might be experiencing.
So, as I mentioned, each program, the instructor has to be assigned to a school before they can do any type of testing. And that is one of the aspects of it. If your school is not credentialed, or excuse me, registered, you might run into some problems. So what I've done in the meantime for some people who is in the process, but their school has not been approved, I will put them at AGC, the AGC training program. I'll assign them to AGC, and then you can continue doing your test. And Mark, that's what I did for you. You are assigned to AGC, so you should have that now. If you still don't, let me know, and I will go in and do some other things that I can kind of work around and get you to where you need to be. Same thing,
Because you did
Randy, I'll
that.
take a look.
You did that for us. We're under
Yes, sir.
AGC. We just got notification today that we're registered
Yep.
now. So
Yep, I got the, yep.
will
I
you
got
make
the
that change?
email this morning. I already did, sir. That was the
All right.
email I sent today.
All right, very good.
Yeah. So as you build your classes, you from now on, Mr. Rick and Melissa, you guys will start choosing Washburn Rural, and then you'll build your classes there. Because if you do it under AGC, then you'll have to be AGC from now on. And once you start doing that, then we'll go ahead and delete it. It's a workaround so that you guys can continue, start assigning tests and get going. So, but it takes a little bit of time. So, Mark, if we'll talk, and Humberto sent that to you today. We'll get that started. Mr. Randy, I'll check with you and see what's going on, and we'll work around and get you so that you can start doing that. So if you don't have those items, contact me. If you don't have the learning platform, if you don't have where it says assign, if you don't have the performance, let me know and we'll get you going. We'll do some workarounds, next steps, and make sure that you get what you need to do. And guys, the biggest thing is to remember, this is a relationship. It's a relationship between us and you. Relationships take a little bit of work. I don't know if you're having problems unless you contact me. And you also have to consider, right now we have around 50 schools and we have around 100 instructors. So email me. I get up early in the morning and you'll see some early emails coming through. I'll contact you. I'll reach out to you. So if you don't hear anything, pester me. Okay. I won't be offended. And please just remember, I'm trying to support everybody. So I'll do my best, and Humberto and Brad and PJ are going to help. Okay. But I want you to know that our main purpose is to support your program and provide you all the resources that we can so that you can be in front of the students, taking care of the students. So, and NCCER has been doing that, and they're trying to make things a lot easier so that you can do that. Question for you, and I would like any and all feedback. I chose 4 o'clock because I know you guys are in the classroom. I also know that some of you have other responsibilities and other commitments, coaching and other things like that. Is 4 o'clock a good time? Should it be sooner, later? And I do know that I can't get everybody's planning period. So what would be a good time? Any feedback? Okay, 4 o'clock. Okay.
Always for, for me, 4 o'clock is fine.
Okay.
I don't have any coaching responsibilities any longer, so 4 is fine, even, 3:30-ish or whatever, but 4 probably works out good for most people, I would guess, or 3:45, something like that even.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. And I'm trying to stay away from Thursday, Fridays, things of that, games and things of that nature. So I thought Wednesday, you're not starting out the first of the week, and, Mondays always seem really hectic. So I'm trying to stay around Tuesday, Wednesday. So I will put out another, if you haven't, I've put it in there several times, sign in. So I have your contact information. I'll make sure that I'll add you, and I'll go through. And right now I'm verifying all the instructors and your contact information with what NCCR has. So I may have missed you, and I'm trying to build that list as we continue to bring people on. That's why I'd ask you to sign in so I can make sure and get you on that list. Once I get that list, I'll send out the notice for the next one, and I'm going to do every single month is my goal. If I need to go to twice or 3 times a month, or I'll do that as well. I want to make sure that you guys are taken care of. And if you would, send me an email and tell me a topic that you would like me to cover in more depth as well. Because there's a lot to this, and I understand that. And I want to be able to support you as much as I can. Okay. And absolutely, I will still continue to record these. That way, if someone could not attend, they can get on here. But I'd like for you to get on, so then that way you can ask your questions. Okay. So, but I will provide that video as well. I might put it someplace that a shortcut so you can download it. I think I might do that as well. Because video files are quite large, and so some email servers won't take it. So I'll work on that as well. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm trying to stay within that hour. If you do have any questions that you want to contact, or if you want to stay on and ask, I'll stay here until the last of you jump off. So I'll try to take care of answering any questions, and please don't hesitate to email me, send me a text, whatever you can. That is my cell phone. Okay. Thank you so much. And I truly, truly thank you for everything that you do for our students and our schools and our industry. And our industry really does need you. So thank you for everything you do.
Thank you. This is very valuable.
So I know this is kind of a high overlook of a lot of things, but let me know. All right. Have a great evening and the rest of your week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll stay on if anyone has any questions. So
good.
Hey, Clovis.
Yes, sir, Mr. Alec.
Yeah, just one last question there. If we made a group prior to August when they did the changeover, is that group now gone and we just need to go in and start fresh on our groups?
If you made it prior to the new system, yes. If you log in and the new system, they could not bring over your customized groups. So yes, you'll have to create that group again. I am sorry, but they kind of figured that the new year, so that would be a new group because it's going to be new students in there. So that's kind of how they figured that.
Yeah. Okay, no biggie.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, thanks.
Yep.
Hey, Clovis, I got a question real quick.
Yes, sir.
Today I was updating some of my files, and I went in on my NCCR portal under the card lookup. Let me pull that up here. Verify credentials. and I could go in and I could print transcripts from my students on what they had done. I noticed, because I've got some seniors this year that they haven't been in, they're taking the carpentry portion now. And, but they took core as a freshman and they're certified. So I went in and I printed off their stuff and put it in their file. And I looked at this and, you know, one of them is well, all of them actually, the construction math module showed up with today's date. Is that part of that 30-year lag deal or what's going on there?
Yes. So
Okay.
actually, you're pretty lucky because up until end of last week, if you went to print credentials, it would have been blank.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. It just started because they're still doing it. And it shouldn't make a difference if it came in today. As long as it's complete, it's considered a level completion. So you should be able to get a level completion regardless of when that date was. And if it should pull, and if you can look at your report for level completion and you can put it, and it should say a level completion form, core. And if it says core, then it's fine.
All right. Well, I got some stuff in the mail over the summer at school, and some of their certifications and new cards for some kids. And but I had a couple that didn't get any cards.
Okay.
Or anything, but it shows on there, so I don't really think it matters as long as it shows on there.
As long as it shows a level completion of core or carpentry, whatever it is, it's good. The certificate with the new print on demand, they'll be able to go in, or you should be able to go in that print on demand and get that. So
yeah,
if they really want it.
Well, yeah, I had 2 seniors last year that went on to, one that is at Hayes in construction management, one went to WC Tech, and they need that information.
Yeah,
and
as long as that card number, they should be able to.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you.
So are you guys my problem children? Is that why you guys stayed?
It's too hot to go outside.
Okay. Anything else? Does anyone have any other?
Yeah, I got
question.
I think I was looking at my stuff. It looks like I'm maybe as a student instead of it shows I have the credentials as, when I go to my credentials, it shows that I'm a craft instructor and all those things. We got all the paperwork stuff figured out with Junction City, but I just wasn't sure if I sent you an email. I don't have any of this stuff either. I have the learning platform, but it goes in there. It's like I haven't been able to, it'd be more like I haven't been assigned a course or I haven't been assigned a test. So that's just something I'll have to figure out in the next week or two.
Okay. Adam, or I'm sorry, Aaron, I will, let me see if Junction City has been approved. I think so. That was one of the, almost positive, but I want to make sure. Okay. All right. Let me, tomorrow morning, you should be okay, Aaron.
Okay. All right.
Take a look at it tomorrow morning.
Yep. That'll work. Thank you.
Yep.
Close. I got a question.
Sure.
Is there any way to look up how many tests my students took last spring?
Yes. It's in that report. What I showed you. Sorry. So under that report function, you put in the date, range for module completion, and you can put that date range in and it should show you.
All right.
If you run into problems, let me know, and we can set up a meeting and we can walk through it, take care of it.
All right.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Don.
You bet.
Matt,
Hey,
I do apologize that you didn't get the notice. I'm glad that, who passed it on to you?
Adam.
Oh, good.
Adam's an adjunct for us. He teaches at Larned, but for Barton Community College. So,
good.
I had a question for you. I was just talking to my department head, and we're looking at lengthening out our certificate that we're offering. So we would offer more NCCR classes, maybe the second level book, maybe a few modules out of there.
Okay.
So I guess my question is, I don't remember what I'm qualified and not qualified to teach according to NCCR.
Okay. So if you remember, I showed you here. I'll pull it up so that you can see it, and I'll share my screen. It's real simple. At least right now, it's still simple. It could be a little bit problematic in the future. We'll see how they do it. Okay, so if you see right here, you go to credentials, verify credentials. Of course, it's going to take forever.
Okay, so I'm on my account. Do I need to go back further than that? Or just a blank?
Well, let's see what pulls up.
I see verify credentials and my credentials over on the right-hand side or the left-hand side.
Yep. So you should be able to type it in there as well. Let's see.
Credential search. My credentials, training, journey level assessments, certifications. Oh, okay. I see instructor, certified curriculum performance evaluator, and module test proctor.
Okay, let me see. Sir. See, I kind of have cheated. I know they still have the old one up and running, and so I can actually look it up. But let me see. Pulling you up so I can see what you're. Oh, okay. All right, Matt. I have you as core and carpentry right now listed. Let me see if I got you something else. I think that was it, but I'll double check.
That's a question that I just came up with as we're watching, because I had our meeting at 2:00 with my department head. So, and I was like, I want to do a full year of classes, like quite a few credit hours. So I was like, sheetrock, roofing, siding, all that stuff.
So I have you, it looks like you can teach all 4 levels of carpentry. So if you get into level 2, 3, and 4, you start looking at some of that. I mean, you can even get into the moisture barriers, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there. Concrete, there's some stuff in there as well. And if you want to do something else, example, if you want to do a focus on concrete or something like that, we can do that as well. So.
How do I get a sample textbook of like concrete and what's the is it called advanced construction or advanced carpentry book?
Well, that's level 4. So there's 3 that I think that you need to take a look at. And the 3 that I want you to take a look at and see what you like is the concrete. That's always a lot of contractors really like that. And so you might be able to get some people in for that one. The next one is construction technology. Construction technology is really good as well. And then 2, 3, and 4 is carpentry 2, 3, and 4. So take a look at those as well. So how can you get a book? What what you can do is tell me what you want, and I can order it and have it drop shipped to you.
So I currently have the instructor's books, or maybe the books for carpentry 2, 3, and 4. The old,
Okay.
but those are 5th edition.
Yep.
Right. So
Yep.
I'm looking for 6th edition with the new revised.
Well, unfortunately, it hasn't come out yet.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still on the 5th edition.
Okay.
Later this year, I think they're rolling out a couple more, but.
Okay. Because yeah, I had those, and I was going to look into just buying level 2, but about the time I was looking at that, they changed books. So I was like, well, I don't know if you teach a new use the general carpentry book and the level 2 book. I don't know how that works.
Well, they're also taking it and splitting it out a little bit into a commercial and residential as well. So a little bit more of a different focus. But construction technology is pretty cool because it actually hits a little bit of plumbing, a little bit of electrical, a little bit of, and so it's kind of like the building maintenance type. I mean, it's all general electrical, HVAC, but it's all real introductory type. And so then that way kind of exposes them a little bit, gives them a little bit of general knowledge. And so that actually works fairly well with some of them. So
I like that idea. We thought about doing, I hate the word tiny homes, but like buildings that we could build in our shop. We're working out of an old automotive shop that Jeff Meyer, who teaches plumbing, we split it in half. So I've got an 18 by 18 door. If it's basically is small enough that we can transport it on the highway, we can build it here and move it. I figured we could do as many of the trades as we could,
Well, and the other aspect of it is that you can actually start having your admissions and everyone else, your community relations and employability, start looking at, building maintenance and some others to have them come in and help support your program as well. Because some of those your students, if you do construction technology, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for someone that has a little bit of understanding of all of it to help.
You're talking about the college, or you're just talking about our general area?
Yeah, the college. Yeah, both.
Okay.
Yeah. And the other aspect of it to consider is construction technology is a huge, I think it's 200 to 300 hours that's in it. So it's huge. And just shoot me an email and I'll send you whatever books you want.
Okay. Yeah. Will those get updated too with the 6th editions, or what? Or will they be the same?
So those will be the same. Those are not used very often. I think the concrete just got updated last year, I think, in the last year or two. Construction technology was updated in 2016, and I don't think it's coming up for renewal for another couple of years. So.
Okay. Yeah. So just talking to her today, we got a semester program and 4 or 5 hours a day. We were thinking about, well, we might do a short program that the high schoolers can come out here and take, and then a longer program that's a year long. So look at
that construction technology would be a year. The concrete you could probably do that in a semester, at least the level 1, I think. So
just as 1 hour at a time or 2 hours at a time or something like that for just concrete.
Yeah. Well, actually, there's 2 levels of concrete. It's a pretty decent system. Goes into a lot of different finishes and all that good stuff. So it's actually pretty decent. I think I did see someone using it at community college several years ago, and they actually had did a couple of different practicals, and they had one where they had enough aggregate, large enough aggregate that it actually drained water through it. So you know how it does the runoff, and so you pour concrete. So instead of actually putting in your guttering, that it's porous enough that your little, the other one was daylight. They put a lot of clear aggregate into it. And so you'd actually have daylight coming through it. So, I mean, there's all different types of stuff. So,
Someone
pretty
told me
cool.
that there's concrete that can set, like classes use it. Well, that you can set it and then it's reusable. I don't know whether I believe that or not. Because it's
And then
someone who
the other
doesn't know
one,
what they're talking about.
yeah, there's also another one that you can get fluorescent aggregate that goes into it as well. And so it glows. So there's all different types. So
Yeah, I wonder about concrete because you do concrete work and you're going to be traveling a lot more off site if you're doing concrete. It just depends on what are the requirements of the class.
Well, I've also seen programs that do it, and they'll do countertops, they'll do all different types of benches, they'll do, I mean, they have a lot of great and then they were selling it. I mean, Pitt State does that as well. They sell a lot of tables and benches, and they donate a lot of it to the parks and things of that nature. So there's something that if you want to do it, I'm sure that you can find projects that will actually work fairly well.
I just got to look at of course, this is coming out at the same time as the KBOR because they're changing their stuff because you're changing NCCR is changing theirs. Got to look at the requirements. What are they? Can I do them on site? Do you have to put footings in to do a concrete class? Like how big of a process is it?
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, the SIP code should not change. So as far as KBOR, as long as you have a carpentry, concrete's underneath it, and I think your construction technology would be too. I don't think you'd have to change SIP codes or put in for a modification. I don't think. But that of course that's up to your administration as well. They think.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a lot of options. We're just trying to figure out what projects would be best, and then, like you said, what's best for what's the industry looking for? What does the industry want them to know?
Yeah, I mean, take a look at your community, and I think you can find a lot of support no matter where you look, what program you had. But one that is sorely missed is the building maintenance. Your apartments and all of those. There's a lot of them that are out there looking, and they don't have anybody.
I think that's a great idea, but I actually was late to this meeting because I'm in a little bit of a tiff with our building maintenance people here. So I bought an electric pickup and I was charging it in my shop because I use it for work here. And one of the building maintenance guys went up the chain and was like, "You can't do that. That's like stealing gas." I'm like, "Okay, sorry." So anyway, that's a good idea too. Building maintenance. Is that a textbook?
No, it's construction technology is the textbook.
Okay. So that and concrete, I should probably take a look at.
Yeah, I think that'd be worth it. And that way you can actually get a certificate and credentials out of it if you want to. Of course, you can build whatever you want out of 2, 3, and 4, but unless you finish the entire level, they wouldn't get a certificate out of it. So,
but it would be on their card for every module, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just don't know if we'd go that way, but I got to look at 2, but we'll probably move when the new book comes out, when the new advanced book comes out. What is it? Advanced carpentry or advanced construction?
I don't know what, I think it's advanced. Yeah.
Well, I'll look at that when that comes out. I'm sure it's like a mixture of level 2, 3, and 4, isn't it?
I don't know because they're kind of splitting a little bit for residential and commercial. So I'm not sure what they're going to come out with. And the other aspect of it is, as you know, your certificate program, it will, whatever you make it, it's the textbook that will support it. So you can, even though you may not get a NCCR credential, they could still get a certificate from you guys at A, B, or C. So just kind of depends on what direction you want to go.
Yeah, we just like to show them that, hey, you're getting Barton College.
Oh, absolutely.
We're getting NCCR too. You guys are getting all this
absolutely.
stuff. So,
absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks. Sorry for taking all your time.
All right. Thank you, sir. Have a nice evening.
Bye.